Good morning, afternoon, evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Wednesday, May 6th. Let's get started right away. The winner of our previous poll of the day, Disney beat out Nickelodeon pretty handily. I guess that's appropriate enough since the poll went up on Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And Star Wars is now owned by Disney, so I think that was inevitable. For today's poll of the day, what would you prefer to try? Bungee jumping or skydiving? And for today's student learning goal, I can review all the major events of the novel in preparation for Friday's quiz. Speaking of the quiz and student learning goals for it, there is an actual student learning goal for Friday as well, and it's not just the word quiz. There was a student learning goal posted for our last quiz, and yet a number of students still just wrote the word quiz in on that student learning goal day and lost points because of it. There's always been a student learning goal whenever we've had a quiz, even when we were in class. The student learning goal for Friday will be, I can score 80% or better in my assessment of knowledge on the novel so far. Let's start our review really quickly, kicking into the actually incorrect statements for chapters 37 and 38, put up on the screen now. Welcome back to the video, ladies and gentlemen. Now, chapters 33 through 38, which make up part 5 of the story The Art of Racing in the Rain, operate as the setup for Denny's battle. All of our characters are in their places now. Denny and Enzo opposite of Maxwell and Trish, with Zoe trapped in the middle, unaware of the struggle that's happening. The main external conflict of the book has now been established. Person versus person. Denny versus the twins. And additionally, an internal conflict is established here for Denny as well. As a reaction to all these negative events happening around him, Denny's first instinct was to reach for the bottle and start drinking, before changing his mind due to the loyalty of his dog Enzo, giving him the support that he needs. It is at this point that I want to draw your attention back again to the title of our book, The Art of Racing in the Rain. See, Denny's life so far can be compared to a race. The author, Garth Stein, even pauses the story of the novel every few chapters or so to give us a mini chapter to teach us a lesson about racing that can also apply to a person's life. In this case, we're going to look specifically at Denny's. All of these life lessons are applicable to racers who are competing to win their individual races. In good weather conditions, racers still have a number of factors that they need to be concerned about. Usual concerns include speed, keeping the traction of the car, the uncertainty as to what the other drivers around you are going to do that might impact your driving. And when it rains, that changes almost everything about all of the concerns that already exist for racers. As Denny stated way back on page 41 of the story, drivers are afraid of the rain. Rain amplifies your mistakes, and water on the track can make your car handle unpredictably. Enzo built on this a couple of pages later, when he reinforced one of the central ideas of the novel that we've discussed several times. When he states, "My thoughts turned to what Denny had just taught me. Such a simple concept, yet so true. That which we manifest is before us. We are the creators of our own destiny. Be it through intention or ignorance, our successes and our failures have been brought on by none other than ourselves." So the title of our novel actually operates as a metaphor for the struggles and the perseverance that we need to survive the struggles that we face in everyday life. If the race is your life, and the rain is an element that adds more confusion, uncertainty, and struggle to your life, then the way that you navigate those struggles and influences is how you race your car through the rain. There are so many ways to mess up, to be stopped, or to fail. But even though it may seem impossible to finish the race under such conditions, the driver must continue. That's where Denny finds himself now. It is certainly raining on his racetrack as he battles the twins for custody, and now has an additional battle to clear his own name and prove his innocence in the court of law. Many would fail under such challenges. But Denny has always been good at racing in the rain. He will need that same resilience and fortitude to see himself through the coming trial. By now you should already have filled in your own answers to the incorrect actually statements for chapters 37 and 38. Allow me to review them very quickly now before we have our quiz this Friday. The incorrect actually statement for chapter 37 claimed that Enzo was diagnosed with cataracts, which he believed would cause him to one day die a very painful death, making him think of Eve. Actually, it wasn't cataract he was diagnosed with that made him think these things. It was actually hip dysplasia, which he was diagnosed with in chapter 37. See, cataracts wouldn't offer a painful death the way hip dysplasia would. The incorrect actually statement for chapter 38 claims that Denny writes letters to Zoe to explain that he can't see her because he's currently on vacation in South America. Actually, Denny's letters to Zoe claim that he's racing cars in Europe right now, and that this is why he can't actually see her. The idea to not tell Zoe the full truth of the situation came from Denny's lawyer, Mark Fine, as telling her about this struggle between Denny, Maxwell, and Trish might only make the situation worse by causing emotional stress on Zoe. And the excuse they come up with is, I think, pretty believable, as Zoe already knew that Denny had a budding professional race car driving career. So the fact that he had moved on to racing cars in Europe seemed like a pretty good leap. See, Denny can't see his daughter, since Maxwell filed a restraining order within minutes of Denny's getting arrested. Which only goes to show even more how at the very least Maxwell organized everything around Denny's accusation and arrest. Well, that's all for today then, ladies and gentlemen. You may want to review the videos from over the last 2 weeks before this Friday's quiz. Students who finish their quiz before 3 p.m. will receive 5 bonus points on the quiz. That's your reward for getting the quiz done during school hours. Make sure to review any notes, discussion questions, and videos that I've shared with you over the last few weeks, especially, ladies and gentlemen. Give this video a rewatch before the quiz on Friday. Have a good one, everybody.